I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice
Jeremiah 29 and verse 11 says, "For I know the plans that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans that you will prosper and not to have harm, plans to bring hope and the future." This weekend, I went to a camp with the Pathfinders, and it was raining most of the time, and it was slippery, and this campsite was hilly, and even though it was in a valley, it was hilly and rocky, and getting around means you either had to go up or down or over some rocks and this kind of thing. So we had on Sunday what we call a track and trail. That's where we leave certain signs in the forest, and the pathfinders will have to find their way to a destination. But this time it was with a twist. It was where you had everybody except one in the group blindfolded. So it was about 8 to 10 people in a group, kids in a group, and they were all blindfolded except one. And that one was leading them. That one was telling them, lift your foot high, lift your leg higher, or move to the right, walk to the left, watch out for the rocks. And it was quite a slippery path that they had to go through, up and down and around these rocks, and so on. And at first you can see that people were uncomfortable as they held on to each other, in the darkness. They were uncomfortable, and they were not following the instructions or the voice of the person leading. Then at the end of it, they were asked to give an object lesson of what they learned. And the object lesson that came out for me was that, when you start this Christian pathway with God and with Christ, you have to listen to His voice, because He has been there and He will be there. He is the Alpha and Omega, and He has plans for you, and He can see the way while you are navigating through this world of darkness. And at first you will slip. At first you will be a bit uncomfortable listening to His voice. There will be uncertainty of what to do and what God wants you to do. But as you go along, it just like these pathfinders, it became easier to listen. It became easier to follow. It became sweeter, and it started to become fun. And the shouts of frustration, became shouts of excitement and joy and fun. And it's the same thing when you're going through the Christian pathway in this world with God. At first, uncomfortable. At first, difficulty listening and hearing His voice and distinguishing His voice. But as you go along, things will get sweeter. So let's take away this lesson today, that things will be difficult at times listening to the voice of God. But as you go along, things will get easier, and the Christian walk will become sweeter. Since I've started for the kingdom, since my life He controlled, since I gave my heart to Jesus, the longer I serve Him, the sweeter He grows. The longer I serve Him, the sweeter He grows. The more that I love Him, more love He bestows. Each day's like heaven. My heart overflows the longer I serve him, the sweeter he grows.
He speaks, and the sound of his